Delap, Quenda, Manchester United's transfer target set, but we're hearing from inside the walls of Carrington that PSR and financial fair play are definitely hampering Manchester United's progress going forward into the transfer window. Whether that is just January, I don't know. We're going to read into it and figure it out for ourselves, but we are going to talk about what is happening in terms of contacts with possible targets from what's been said from The Athletic and David Ornstein, what Larry Whitwell said from The Athletic as well, Samuel Luckhurst from the MEN. Lots of interesting information that has come about this afternoon. Touch on what Ruben Amorim's press conference has said as well, what's going on at Carrington with training, how the squad are managing, and some interesting sort of news, you would say, not news, but interesting feedback from United about how Amorim is getting across to the players and how he's training them into his system and his formation and trying to get it across to them. Kind of a weird scenario on that one, but we'll get into that. It's Friday evening. A weekend is here. It's done. The week is over. Manchester United comfortable in the Europa League. That's done. Put that aside. It's now time to concentrate on Everton this weekend. Manchester United, another big game on the stepping stones heading into where we need to be under Ruben Amorim. Big games to come. Massive games to come, in fact. I've got a list here of the games that are coming up. We'll get your thoughts on how many points we might have by the end of the next 5 games in particular, which do include Arsenal and City away. No easy job in front of Ruben Amorim right here. We know this. But we're getting into the transfer side of things and what's been said today. There's been a lot of stories flying around what Manchester United's structure and what they're plotting going into the summer transfer window. I think we can all safely say right now that Manchester United are not bringing anyone in January. They are making concrete talks and contacts with agents of players, and we're talking Quenda first of all and his new agent, George Mendes. Well, the deal's done then, isn't it? If George Mendes is in town and he's communicating with Manchester United, he can pretty much rubber stamp it, signed, sealed, delivered, here we go, whatever you want to, he's going to make it happen for his clients. Player Quenda coming to Manchester United. We know that they've worked well with George Mendes over the summer. We know that they've brokered deals together. They've made things happen. The Euro situation, he was set for Real Madrid. Are we going to see a very similar scenario come about again with other players this summer? But I don't feel like, obviously there'll be people looking at Quenda, but I feel like Manchester United would be top of the tree in terms of pecking order because of the connection with Ruben Amorim. That's about it. I haven't heard of anyone else in for Quenda just yet, but Samuel Luckhurst, as you can see going across the bottom of your screen, he's the one that tweeted this out earlier on today, is saying that Manchester United have held talks with a view to a possible move for Quenda in the coming transfer window, speaking to his new agent, George Mendes, and trying to make real progress in not so much finalising this deal, but putting everything in place ready to go for the summer. Now, don't forget, this time last year or last season, going into the transfer window, Manchester United had no recruitment set up. There were targets, there were scouts out there, there were things going on behind the scenes, but we didn't have Ineos in situ. We didn't have the CEO, the director of football, the technical director, the recruitment, head of recruitment, director in Vival, or anyone like that. No, none of the structure that's there now was here at the back end of last season. It wasn't in full working order. Now we get to see what the structure is really about. And the only reason we're talking about transfers now in November, ahead of a summer window, is because this is how long it takes for transfers to happen. This is how long the preparation takes to get a player ready to go, and then you get that scenario in the summer. When people were talking about how quickly Liverpool move or how quickly City get deals done, it's not just done in a transfer window like that. And people say United seems to have been talking to this player for ages. 2 months into the window, nothing's happened, and City just come in and make it happen, or Liverpool come in, just make it happen. No, they have been communicating and putting deals together for months way before we get to the transfer window. We have a structure in place now that will be doing this, which is why we're hearing things come out of Manchester United about possible targets coming into the football club, about possible players that could be signing in the summer, which is miles away, of course. And Ruben Amorim himself has said that he's not interested in transfers right now. That doesn't mean that he hasn't give word already about certain players that he would like to work with, that he could ask Ineos and that structure to go in and start making the foundations and building relationships. There's talks about Manchester United also building relationships with Saudi Pro League teams as well and representatives over there in case we can actually sell on players in the summer. Now that all points towards the likes of Casemiro, obviously, Anthony maybe, trying to get the best book that they can for the players they've got because of, like we're going to talk in a minute, about PSR and financial fair play and the struggles there. Look, if Manchester United somehow miraculously turn the season around, which we're hoping they will do, and I think they can do, when they get into the Champions League, it will ease FFP and financial fair play rules. But going up to the end of June, where we know that PSR and all of your books need to be in for, that is going to be tight for United. So cancel out anything at all happening in January unless it's a loan, a cheap deal, a free. It's not going to happen permanently. No one's going to be buying anybody or putting any bids on the table for Manchester United in terms of bringing players in until the summer. And this is the work that's going on now. So any rumours, any noises you hear about permanent deals or possible transfer targets, realistic ones that you are going to spend money on, are all for the summer. Forget January. It's never going to happen. Never going to happen, because we cannot get rid of anyone up until that 30th of June anyway, because the window isn't really officially open. So we can't balance our books from this point here. Ineos are doing everything they possibly can, I think, now to try and get as many players on that are surplus this January off the books or wages subsidised, if it's loans or whatever. Just try and cut everything off so they can meet that target for the 30th of June. Once that passes, clean slate. And if you have got Champions League football, all that money comes in. You haven't lost anything from Adidas. And obviously, you'll be looking to sell players on. And you can then start balancing books again for the start of the next window, which is obviously June to June 2025 to 26 in terms of PSR and financial fair play. This is the tactic and what is in front of Manchester United right now. What does that mean for Ruben Amorim? Not much. He's just going to communicate with Ineos where necessary in certain meetings to get deals, talk about possible deals and possible players here and there. I don't think he's going to be that bothered about it. His sole concentration, like he said, he's on the squad. I think it'll be Ineos putting their work out and doing things, because it's all right a manager coming out and saying we're not talking about targets right now. They are. They have to be, because they have to get everything in order ready for the summer. So when people say he's not talking about it, he's fully concentrated, he's telling people in interviews that he knows that he needs to, if he is going to get the best out of his time at Manchester United, have more players in. He knows this. And his job right now is getting the max out of the players that we've got right now. And the ones that don't quite make it are the ones that are going to be replaced. And they will already know a few months in, going into next year, January, February, which players are probably going to be moved on. And this is how you plan and structure properly. And this is what this new Ineos structure in place right now will bring Manchester United. And hopefully it brings the full backing to Ruben Amorim when the summer comes. If Ruben can pull off miracles and get United moving forward and get United into a position where we're back into the Champions League, albeit top four, Europa League, whatever it is, that is the main target, then everything changes and he should be massively backed in the summer. I'm not having this that United haven't got any money to spend. They're doing everything they can now just so they can spend after the 30th of June. And that's the reality. You only have to look at the comments at the bottom of your screen. Not at the bottom of your screen, sorry. In the comments from Laurie Whitwell and what he said around Manchester United and what's actually happening right now. And his word was, it's quite hitting, to be honest. The initials PSR and FFP have been uttered repeatedly in the corridors of Carrington, and Manchester United are close to the line. That's the word from Laurie Whitwell. That backed up off what David Ornstein said previously, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, with Manchester United really tinkering on the edge of falling foul of the restrictions and falling under that cut-off of what we need to and what we're able to lose over a 3-year period for PSR. This is where Manchester United are right now, and I feel like this is what we're looking at. Quenda, this deal, obviously, George Mendes will do everything he possibly can to make this happen. He's going to cost quite a bit of money. He isn't market valued at that, but if United are going to lynch him out of that sporting squad and maybe even going for a bid for Gyökeres, they're going to have to pay big bucks. Is he worth it at 17? I think he'll be the most expensive teenager that United have ever brought in if the prices that are going around are actually realistic. So we'll see where that one goes. But Manchester United have 100% concrete interest in Giovanni Quenda. He is a player that United wants. That is interesting on its own because that's the right-hand side, which is Ahmad's. And obviously we know the left-hand side, we're going to be looking at the likes of Alphonso Davies. You're looking at Kirkes in that area as well, Alvaro Fernandez. There's many options there for Manchester United to be looking at. Are we going to get two, both sides? interesting how this pans out and what Manchester United prioritise going into the summer. But I feel like 3 to 4 players, best in class. If we are going to spend money, I don't think it's going to be for squad players. I think it's going to be for straight into the squad, making it better. Sorry, straight into the first team, making it better type of players. That's the only way United spend big money in the transfer window coming up. But I mean, you tell me, in terms of Quenda, have you looked at him enough? Do you know about him enough? Everybody in the chat, please let me know. I'm going to get into all of your comments now. First of all, we do have some gifted memberships. 5, in fact, from London. What a legend. Red Army Reactions, Tom Duffy, Ben Profits, Overhead Kick TV, and Jordan Amor. Welcome to the Members Club, my friends. And Jim, who has just become a gold member, 12 months a member. Congratulations, Jim. Happy to be part of this great community 1 year on. Absolutely love that. Legend, mate. Absolute legend. Thank you so much. And an evening to everybody else in the chat. Martin Lawton says, Adam, I would like to ask for everyone's opinion on pushing This Is the One back to putting up Take Me Home United Road from front and centre. I feel there's a conversation to be had. Would like to ask for everyone's opinion on pushing This Is the One back. As in, you want that as the song that comes out at Old Trafford. They do still have that song coming out, but they just get everyone singing Take Me Home United Road and introduce everyone around when it's just about to kick off, when the players have just spun away from the Premier League music. So I haven't really got a problem in that, mate, to be honest. I do like it. I do like it. It's one of my favourites. Great atmosphere last night and great reception for Ruben Amorim, which he was quite touched by, says Babs. You're right, Babs, he was. It was a good night. It was a good night. In terms of Manchester United moving forward, I'm just going to read through the news and get through all of the headlines that are coming out. We just read the PSR and financial fair play one. Manchester United have, according to Laurie Whitwell, started talks. This is now concrete and definite, not just a rumour. This needs to happen and happen very quickly, by the way. But they have started talks over a new contract for Amad Diallo with the club, looking to keep him at the club for long term. No shit. Jesus. Get that done and get that done quick. Please, God's sake. That should have been done ages ago. The fact that he is where he is right now, I feel Amad is definitely a player that needs to be on a new deal. Jesus. How are we letting it get this far? I don't know. But he is fully invested into Manchester United. I'm not worried at all. Don't forget, we turned down a £30 million bid for Amad in the summer from a top European club. So that on its own tells you everything. That would have been the most expensive signing post-Sir Alex Ferguson, of sale post-Sir Alex Ferguson for Manchester United, which is crazy, isn't it? Congratulations to Chido Obi Martin. Not only has he turned 17 today, he has officially signed his first professional contract as a footballer at Manchester United. The scholarship deals are over. He is now officially a professional footballer on a pro contract at United, age 17. He has signed a 5-year deal to Manchester United, so that's him all sealed and done until he's 22, which is good. Hopefully, we do get the full potential out of this kid, because he is going to be a beast. He's going to be an absolute beast. But yes, 17-year-old Obi Martin is officially a Manchester United player on the professional contract. He was signed up before, and this was all lined up beforehand for when he turns 17. He's going to be official. Cannot wait to see him play. Another player, young, coming through a Manchester academy, not United's, was Liam Delap. Caused all sorts of problems for Manchester United at weekend, but David Ornstein has said that Manchester United are actually monitoring and watching the situation with Liam Delap. Now, that would be an interesting one. And you could say a decent signing for Manchester United. What he will go for, I don't know. Because honestly, right now, I'm looking at teams and I'm looking at what Ipswich are doing. I don't think they're going to go down. I think there are worse teams than Ipswich in this league. They may do. But if he goes down, I think he's on the market. If he doesn't, I don't think United have got the money, and I think we would rather spend that money on someone like Gyökeres, who is more proven at the highest level right now. Not saying Delap is not going to be at the highest level, but for what we need right now, and like I just said, I feel like we need players to come straight into Manchester United's first team, not just squad players. We need to get players that are going to be in and working instantly at Manchester United right now. Ruben's building a team, and like I said this morning, there's plenty of players that are cottoning on to this system, and it is okay. We do need to add a bit more quality to this team, as you know. I don't think we're going to be... Because what is Delap worth? I mean, get into the chat, actually, on this one. I mean, Quenda17, Delap, what do you reckon they're both worth? Please do get your comments in the live section, everybody, and let me know what you feel these players are worth. We're almost at that 100 like mark as well, everyone, so please do give the video a like as well. Make sure you have it, that subscribe button. Loads of you have from last night, absolutely loving that. From the positive vibes out of Old Trafford from last night, we've had loads more subscribers. Jump on board here on Forever United TV, and we are absolutely buzzing with that, so thank you and welcome if you are new to watching one of the live shows as a subscriber. Let us know in the chat as well if you are new. That's the only way you can get into the live chat is by being a subscriber, so get onto it, please. With Quenda, Ahmad could play more forward, says Ricardo. Yes, another option going forward, and I feel another way that would push someone else out of this Manchester United squad, because I think Ahmad is that good at the moment. Every time he takes to the field for Manchester United, he is absolutely on it. He is really taking to this new system with Ruben Amorim. Whether he's out at wing back, whether he pushes forward, he just looks absolute quality. And I just feel like wherever he plays on the pitch, he's going to flourish. And Ruben Amorim will get the best out of Amad Diallo. I'm really happy that they are. And like the Athletic says, getting down to the detail of getting him signed up to a new contract, it needs to happen. It needed to happen sooner, in my opinion. And I'm a bit gutted that they haven't really gone in big on Ahmad earlier doors, because he has been quality and one of the most patient men in this squad. I think he more than deserves it, probably more than anybody else right now. And I think there's a few fans that are worried about certain players. I think what we've got to look at as well, and I said this in a private conversation with someone earlier on, when it comes down to the younger players at Manchester United and us worrying about them, let's not forget that these younger players are not on absolute Brewster wages either at the moment. They're still young. For Garnacho, for instance, he's now signed in for 5 years at Manchester United and isn't going to be earning more than 50 grand a week. And everyone's like, Jesus, yeah, at that age earning that money. But yeah, if it doesn't work out for him, he's not a player that's on stupid amounts of money costing us a fortune. Proper structure and proper wage structure at the football club makes situations like this a bit more bearable. And let's not forget, Garnacho is 19 and we're pinning all of our hope onto players like him and Rasmus Højlund. The structure and the recruitment should take over from here and maybe put players into this team that push Garnacho back, that push Højlund back into where they should be, in a development and a pathway leading to where they are now, not being fast-tracked for no reason. They're not there yet. We know they're not perfect yet. They need cover. And I feel like this situation with Ahmad and his contract, I feel like he's ready now. He's slightly older than most of the other younger players, the Cobbies, the Højlunds and the Garnachos. So I feel like Ahmad, personally, at the age he is, 22, 23 I think he is right now, Ahmad. A little bit older. I think he's matured enough experienced enough. I think he's played more games because of the loans that he's taken than what Cobby and Garnacho, and maybe even Højlund at this level have played, especially in this country anyway. And I think he is ready. I think he's now a first-team player, a regular. I actually put him ahead of, in terms of development, ahead of Højlund and Garnacho. I think he's better than Rashford, and he's better than what Rashford was at this stage as well, in my opinion, right now. So, realistically, it's right that Ahmad is getting this contract sorted right now. It should have been done a long time ago, but still, he's on it. I don't think it's going to be mega money again, and that will be a quality player signed down to another 5 or 6 years. And again, just safeguarding the future of Manchester United and the quality players that we do have, because we do have good players in this squad. We do, and we've been talking about them quite a lot recently. So you think all of the players that are really flourishing at the moment, and when Ahmad signs this deal, what you've got there, you've got Mazraoui, who's just signed a 5-year deal. We don't need to worry about him now for the rest of his time at Man United. You've got Manuel Ugarte, he's on a 6-year deal as well. 23, that's him done for the rest of his time. Don't need to worry about him. You get Ahmad sorted, you've got Mainu done, you've got Garnacho done, you've got Rasmus Højlund done. There's no worry for any contract or contract renewal or drama or anything like that. The structure is effectively taking over right now, and it's a good thing that we have got these young lads. Look, even Lenny Yoro, 6 years in, done. That wage isn't going to move. We're sorted. Everyone who's doing well is on big contracts, and that's what we need. There are obviously others, And I don't want to make this a negative show. It's a Friday night. We're upbeat. Weekend is here. Football is here. You know who I'm talking about, though. There are the older ones. But when you look at this, the younger players getting these deals on decent, respectable wages. And when you look at, let's say, for instance, the likes of Garnacho, Kobbie Mainoo, and players like that combined, alongside Rasmus Højlund, when you put their contracts right now, so officially right now, Rasmus Højlund, Garnacho, and Kobbie Mainoo, and what they're on, pretty much equate to the whole wage of Victor Lindelof. I shit you not, honestly. That is pretty much where we're at. Now, Kobbie's going to get a new deal, which will take it over. But as it stands, Kobbie's on a 5-year deal, don't forget, right now, on about 10 grand a week. So that's why they're negotiating a new one. They feel like he's earned more. And personally, I don't like it that much. There's no rush. He's on a 5-year deal. I know putting him level with Garnacho probably seems like the right thing to do, but no panic, no rush, no drama. From what Rasmus is on, what Garnacho's on, and what Kobbie Mainoo's on right now, them 3 players combined, who we've all seen the pictures of, stand up, the future of Manchester United, them 3 players, all on 5 years left of their contracts right now, combined are on exactly the same money as what Victor Lindelof is. Let that sink in. Ed Woodward, John Murtough, Arnold. My God, what was this club doing before? And this is just safeguarding future of Manchester United. Whether it is to move players on, it's easier to move them on because basically they have to earn their money from this point going forward. They're not going to get any more. No one else is going to give them any more. And when it does come to a time where we may have to move these younger players on to make money for the club, then they're easier to move on because they're not on stupid amounts of money, and we're not dealing with a situation like we are now where you've got the likes of Victor Lindelof running his contract down, Harry Maguire running his contract down. Yes, they've said they want to stay at the club. Of course they've said they want to stay at the club. This is a gravy train. This is the best place to be. Well, that's all ending now. Them days are gone. And when they go out, the younger age are in, and they're on, when you compare what money the players that are leaving Manchester United were on to what the new players coming in are on right now, it is staggering. It's absolutely staggering. Unbelievable. I mean, the fact that I said this before, and sorry if I'm repeating myself over it, but it is quite a big point. There's only one of the signings that Manchester United made under Ineos this summer that actually make it into, I think, the top 8 earners at Manchester United. If that doesn't tell you a sign of how things are going, then I don't know how to convince you. I really don't. When you've got most of the new signings that were made in the summer making an impact and playing in the first team right now, and Yoro will be the next. Xerxes aside, let's say the 4, Agate, Yoro, De Ligt, Mazraoui, when none of them are in the top 5 earners of Manchester United, that's the sign that I look at. Kobbie Mainoo will be a starter. Garnacho will be. Ahmad's not going to get anywhere near that. All of these starters and the majority of Manchester United's first team right now will all be looking at less wages than the players that are failing. And this is where they're trying to draw the line and why the structure is starting to take hold. And that's important to look at. It's not all about the glitz and glamour, the big contracts, how many goals they've scored, the stats, this player falling off, everyone hating on Garnacho, his decision-making and all of that. Look at the bigger picture as well. At least United are not just going absolute gun crazy, offering stupid deals to these players. Garnacho's market value, by the way, at the moment, 50 million. He's on 50 grand a week. He's still got 5 years of that contract to run. Do you not feel a little bit safe knowing that he's still only 19? He's had 12 goal involvements this season, and that's a poor start to a season for a lot of people. Yeah, Ruben Amorim in now, a new coach who gets the best out of younger players. That's why I'm confident. That's why I'm confident going forward. Because this club is rinsing itself of all of the deadwood crap and leeches that have just bled this club dry for years, and why we're having to pay more ticket prices now as members to get to Old Trafford and watch a bleeding game because these players are on absolute fortunes. Now we're looking at it completely differently. And signing up Ahmad, another one on the long-term deal, I think he's bang on the money. I went off a little bit on a tangent there in terms of contracts and where the squad is at and the structure coming in, but I feel like this is important and quite on point with the Ahmad situation right now. Only players that really deserve contracts are going to get contracts at United now. Ahmad is top of that list, above everybody else in terms of who needs a deal right now. So, yes, I think this is great news for United. I think Ahmad being secured and nailed down to a new contract, that's him for the best of his years now, because I think he's first team ready and regular ready, if that makes sense. Let's get into the chat anyway. I think the season tickets are going to get a big hike up next season. The block I sit in would sell for bombs as corporate seating. Sadly, yes, David, you are right. I'm hearing the same sort of noises. The tickets that are in my section alone, oh God, astronomical. And I think they're going to go up. I think there's going to be a lot of people making decisions about whether or not to renew season tickets next year. I think it's going to be substantial. I think Ineos are praying that they manage to get something out of this season right now, just to balance that with the hike that's coming. I think it's inevitable. I really do. We really, right now, need to be seeing better football for the price that we're paying. If they're going to up it again, they need to be giving us a little bit more. They need to be giving us a little bit more. There are certain sections of the stadium that are getting treated to other sections and still paying the same money. It's all over the place at the moment inside Old Trafford, but still, like, the football isn't anywhere near good enough yet. It's getting better. We're seeing signs, but we do need to be seeing a better brand if we're going to be paying the big bucks, personally. Ruben Amorim has been opening up on how he's trying to get these players through this busy period. I think United have got 9 games in 30 days now, which is a lot, an awful lot. It's got to a point where apparently Manchester United are doing walking football. Walking football on the pitch just to try and get these players switched on to what he wants to do and understanding of his system and his formations and stuff like that. He's basically keeping him on the pitch because he said jokingly, after 12 minutes and watching a video, the players get bored and switch off. So he has to take them out of that environment, put them out on the pitch and play a little bit of walking football, it said, just to actually get these players on board with what's going on. Some really interesting quotes regarding Manchester United and what's going on the training grounds. A couple I'm going to read out to you here. Ruben Amorim has appointed specialist coaches for each key department of his Manchester United team in a bid to kickstart their season. Amorim has assigned members of his staff to work with defenders, midfielders and forwards in one of the major changes from Erik ten Hag's work on the training pitches at Carrington. That's from Mike McGrath, who has been talking from the Telegraph. There's more on this as well. I'm just going to read into it now. Where's that other one gone? I'm sure there's another one there, actually. I think I've lost it. But yes, there was another piece on what Manchester United are doing with the walking football and things like that to get across to the players. And there was another piece out which was talking about how these players are being picked, not a formation and who they feel is the right characteristics in terms of profile of player, what they are on paper for the roles. So a formation goes up. They want to play this certain way for a particular game. They're judging players starting in this team on character and attitude. I think that's the best way to go forward. Honestly, you've got the right players with the right mentality. You will soon find whether or not their qualities are good enough. But you first of all need to know if you've got a player fully on board with what that message is and what that manager wants. And if you've got players there that are willing to run through brick walls for you, which we are finding a few of now, I think, in this team, then that's the way you start, I feel. That's the way you have to start going forward. So I'm happy about that. It kind of shows you where he's at, though, Ruben Amorim, with this squad. He's not just going to put players out there. He needs to read into these players' minds. He needs to see and learn what they are and what they're all about. And then we can move forward from there. We can start putting them in positions and start working with them, making them technically better, a bit more stamina coming in. It's absolutely criminal how this team is not fit enough right now. And I think that's another big part of it as well. So, like we said this morning, with everybody on board, the likes of Mount getting games, Anthony, Malacia, for God's sake, Shaw's back. All of these players that you just wouldn't have expected to play, apart from Shaw under Ten Hag, are now in with this squad and feel part of this project and the vision of Ruben Amorim. I feel like that is where he is right now. He's literally just getting players on board, giving them simple messages, trying to keep them switched on, and then he will start to develop the players into formations and certain positions as we go forward. The transfer news that we're hearing about and the players that are reportedly coming in. So we know we've definitely got concrete interest in both a wing-back on the left and one on the right. Now that to me tells me that Mazraoui is now going to be seen as a centre-back. I don't mind him there. I really don't. I think he's been outstanding in the first 2 games there. His performances have been consistently over a 7.5 in every game he's played this season. The stats are up. Every single player rating, from a paper and a publication to a broadcaster or anyone online or website or football website, Mazraoui's matchday scores have all been above a 7.5. It's been phenomenal, hasn't he? He's absolutely world class. And why Bayern Munich let him go, I no idea. This guy belongs at the top level. I'm just hoping Ruben Amorim can carry these players forward and help them get to that level so he's got players that he can really play along with right now. He's just an absolute breeze. He's so comfortable with the ball, and I feel he's the level of player that Ruben needs and Ruben wants to be in his side. I feel like it has to be at that level. Otherwise, we will fall short. We won't make it. It has to be on his level, I feel. That's the quality. I think Ugarte's getting there as well. I think he's getting that good. There are other players on the pitch like Ahmad, I think, who are getting very close. I think we've got a good core there that are of the understanding of what he wants and what he wants to do, Ruben Amorim. And we can build on top of that. But again, like repeating myself, I know it's a broken record. It only works if the right players are shifted out in the summer. I don't think Manchester United have got any thought of getting rid of giving new contracts to anyone who's got one running out apart from Amad Diallo. Just to make that point, he's the only player that is up for a renewed contract right now. Everyone else is done. Hope we can ship Xerxes out to Juventus in January. The lad looks way off the pace of the Premier League. I still can't figure his position. Bloody hell, Adam, 9 games in 30 days. That's ridiculous. It works in at 2.1 games per week. How are they going to cope? Just imagine if it was 3 games a week. It pretty much is 3 games a week going forward. Could you go past that? It is. You're going from Sunday to Sunday. You're playing a game on Sunday. You're playing another game on Sunday. There's your week, and you've got 1 game in between. It is 3 games a week. It works out that way. There will be the odd one where you play on a Saturday and then play on the Sunday, and you can counter it across. But whichever way you look at it, you've just got to look at it and go, it's a lot of games. We cannot play every single player every single week. It's impossible. He has to rotate it. And I think the players have latched onto the rotation system, and it's working. And it does feel like a breath of fresh air. It feels like the amount of players that he's used in just these first couple of games alone is staggering compared to what it was before with Ten Hag. And we'd have players running themselves into the ground. 70 minutes in, they'd be knackered. This guy's making 5 substitutes before 70 minutes even hits. That's the difference that you're getting. That's the next level. And you imagine if Manchester United's recruitment team get rid of the players that aren't quite good enough and bring in more quality, then the team that we've got out right now, which we feel is good enough to get us through this season, a few of them drop down to the sub-bench while the other quality comes in. Then you start to look at quality and depth, and you look at everything around Manchester United being able to properly rotate with just as good a players coming in off the bench. That's where everything works out for me, and that's where Amorim is trying to get to right now. Are this team good enough to get United into the top 4 this season? We will find out in the next 6 weeks. Manchester United's fixtures, by the way. This is an interesting one. And I'm actually going to put this to the chat. So, United over the next 5 games. We've got Everton at home. We've got Arsenal away, 2 Premier League games. Then Forest at home the following weekend. So 3 Premier League games in a row, 2 at home. I expect United to beat Forest and Everton. You've got to be looking to beat them because Arsenal away is a tough one. I don't expect us to get anything out of that, by the way. I think Arsenal will probably be too good. I mean, in all hope that Manchester United surprise me, of course. But after that, it's Victoria Pilsen in the Europa League away and Man City away. So 3 away games, 2 home games. How many wins are we getting out of them next 5 games, everybody? Get into the chat right now. It's a bit of a mixed bag. The 2 away Premier League games, obviously, Arsenal and Manchester City. They're the concerning ones. Are City still going to be in this slump? Actually, I want to add another point to the live chat there in that question that I've just asked. Would you rather City start to find a bit of form or still be in a slump by the time we play them? And if you know, you know exactly what I mean by that. And if City are in a slump and then United turn up, and to turn their season around, they have this miraculous turnaround in attitude and everything, and they smash United off the park and it kickstarts their season. Sometimes I would rather play a team that's in form and surprise them rather than playing one that's in a slump that's going to be the wounded animal that's going to come back and attack. I feel like that's where I'm at with City. I don't know which way to go. But how many wins do you reckon we'll get out of them? Let's just see what we've got in here. Let's see. Lauren says, squad depth is key 100%, and players coming off the bench to make an impact could boost confidence. UK Strange says, 2 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. Ooh, so are we beating Pilsen in that one? UK Strange, are we? That's an interesting one. I think we beat Forest, Everton and Pilsen. And then we're struggling against City and Arsenal. I could see us losing both the City and Arsenal games. Just going to be completely honest with where we're at. We are progressing. It's a slow progression. But I don't think we're ready to take down a big gun away from home yet. Don't get me wrong. I want to be there celebrating United winning them games and surprising everyone. But I can only look at that realistically. This is a tough run of games for United right now. I think we need to make sure we win the other games and put everything into them just to make sure that we're in a position to take advantage of a possible upset against City or Arsenal. Beat Everton, beat Forest, beat Pilsen, and we're not in a bad position. Yes, it's going to be hard to take if we lose to City and Arsenal, but you have to be real on where we're at right now. Are we ready to take down them teams? I don't think we are. I really don't. Keep the likes coming in. We are over 150. How close can you get to that 200 live like mark, everybody? It is Friday evening. The weekend is officially here. Kaz has been a member for 10 months as well. Legend Kaz. Adam Taxi Driver tonight. He's a good one. I'm taking Kaz to where Christmas do, which is why we are a little bit early, everybody. But look at all of you in the room right now. You don't care. You love the channel. And you love that Kaz is going to have a good night tonight. And that's all that matters ahead of what is going to be a mental weekend of football. It really is. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this weekend's action. We're going to be outside Old Trafford talking about what Manchester United did against Everton. And Man City and Liverpool are going to be on while we're driving home. Me and Jay are going to be back on the breakdown show pretty much after that game finishes against City and Liverpool. My God, we are going to have a lot to talk about, I feel. I'm really looking forward to the football. I'm looking forward to being back in the Premier League again. It's going to be an epic one, I just feel like Manchester United players are going to be on that next step now under Ruben Amorim. And what's really interesting about this weekend is how many changes he's going to make again. How many he's going to make because of the players that played against Bodo Glimt the other night. Anthony's out, Malassia's out. I think that's a certainty. I think Garnacho will be out this weekend. I don't think he starts. I think he's going to go. I don't know. Do you know what? What do you reckon? Get into the chat right now, everyone. Do you reckon to the Bruno and Ugarte 8s and 6s role? Do you reckon that combination worked with the energy levels of both of them players? Do you feel like that's something he was looking at? Do you think he can play it again, is what I'm getting at? And then where does Mainu come in? Does he come in higher up as one of the 10s? Or does he drop into midfield with the 6 or the 8 like we're expecting him to? Is there any chance he could be up there? I think Mount starts. I do. I don't know what he's going to do with Bruno. Does he stay there because he's the captain? I said this before. Obviously, there's something there that Bruno's got that every manager is latched onto that he needs from Bruno that we may not see or may not be able to analyse. There's something that every manager wants Bruno on the pitch for, and we can't ignore that. If he's going off rotation, Bruno doesn't start, which would be strange, but then again, if he doesn't start and we get the win, Bruno's completely fresh for the Arsenal game in the week where we are going to need legs and lots of legs. So interesting what he goes with against Everton this weekend and how he approaches that one. That's going to be key, I think, maybe with Arsenal in mind. So let's see what comes of that. But everybody, that is your Friday evening show. I want you to now go, relax, get your feet up, go out, have a drink, go to the pub, get yourself a nice pint or cocktail, whatever it is, cup of tea even at home, put your TV on, watch the content back from yesterday, give me your comments in after the live is finished. I want to know what you're thinking. I'm going to drop Kaz off, I'm going to come back, I'm going to read through a few comments and look through some of the action from yesterday again. And do a little bit more and be ready for the morning. And I'll see you all at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, everybody, for the Saturday morning show. Thank you, everyone. Please give the video a like on the way out. Welcome new subscribers. If you aren't subscribed, hit it. The subscribe button is right up there on your screen. And I'll see you all in the morning. Have a fantastic Friday evening. Merry Christmas, everyone.